Good morning, everybody. Danny here on a Monday morning. It is froggy out there. My sister always used to say that. It's froggy outside. And it holds a little different meaning today, doesn't it? So, Monday morning, we had a day of back and forth with, was this really a Hate America rally, or was this a Love America rally, or is this? And I still can't, it's hard to understand how this divisiveness can keep going on. It's like, is somebody not looking at something? What are you looking at? Say hello to PsychicDuck, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. So you voted? Yeah. Did you march? Uh-huh. What'd you think? The frog scared me. Frog scared PsychicDuck. It's just a ribbit or two. All right, let's get into it. Last night, I normally don't read late at night on current events. Normally I read on my current events, what's going on with me. And I said, what's the week ahead gonna be like? And so I tried to record it. It didn't work. So I'm going to drop it down. We're going to see if we can play with that and just show you what I got, because it was so good. It was so positive. I'm going, dang, I must have really taken a double dose of hopium. Here we go. Let's see what we get. Oh, my goodness. There we go. And it was even messier. So, all right. The deck that I'm using is Lena Rodriguez's and Sienna Rose and June Rifkin One World Tarot. For those of you who are just learning, getting into it, this is probably one of the top decks that you should look into. Specifically, well, the imagery is great, but the book is fabulous that goes along with it. And then the other one, of course, would be the Rider-Waite, because that has the traditional meanings that you want to at least have a basis of, right? Okay, let's start off. This is the question that I asked. What is the energy of the week? After we had this beautiful march where so many people came together and felt empowered and were empowering each other. And yes, I did feel those people who did not get out and march, who stayed at home and sent love and light and protection. Thank you. The people honking their horns, and the people walking and holding up signs. It was a little disheartening for me to see all the FUs out there. To me, it's like, okay, yeah, we see our anger, we see that, but we can have a better vocabulary. Well, some of us can. I'm not saying it's me, because I drop into that quite a bit sometimes, especially when I'm talking to my hillbilly brother. Anyway, let's get on with this. What's the energy of the week like after this No Kings March? We get the Ace of Wands, new beginning. It's being challenged, covered, enhanced by the Ace of Cups, new beginnings, new emotional start. Whoa, very good. However, I go, where's the Ace of Pentacles? Well, we get the Two of Pentacles. What we're marinating in is still the rocky road, is still the balancing of these two ideas. And it's really, it's like the Republicans that are in office now have an idea of democracy that it's so bizarre it doesn't line up with what the Constitution was. I saw John Stewart, and he said, well, we did this to ourselves. Everything they're doing is within the Constitution. And I went, yeah, not really. Look at all the lower courts they're holding up. And then he talks about, that here, I left this up so you don't have to look at the cards all the time. Then he talks about the that the government is in control of the Republican Party. You have the executive, judicial, and oh my God, I just faded. Brain fade Monday morning. Executive, legislation, and judicial. And the judicial should not be partisan at all, but yet they are. And he goes, and the Republicans are in control of the judicial, the Supreme Court. So the legislative Congress, they're all like falling in, and it's like, do you guys not think that this is against the Constitution? No, they don't. So they're juggling this Two of Pentacles. I'm like, okay. So we're still in that juggling mode, but in the past, as we relate, we get the Wheel of Fortune. Things are moving. Karmic wheel has been set in motion, and is at the No King's March. Because to me, it feels like with this is like a world event card as well, even though it's not the world card, but the world saw what we did. The world saw the 7 million people marching. I think it was maybe a little more. That's what they said their estimates were. Doesn't matter. 7,000,001. I don't know if they counted the duck. That would be a big mistake. Okay, the top of the reading. Moving on to calmer waters. And in the potential near future, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is all about security. This is about safety. And then when I got that Queen of Pentacles, I said, is this about the government shutdown? Because it's like they don't want to release, they don't want to swear in the one woman from Arizona that would allow the Epstein files to be released. And I still, whenever I say that, I think about the victims, and I just, send them some love and light and protection, because they got to relive this shit all over again. See, I just did that. I didn't use the F word, I used the S word. It's a sibilant leakage. Okay. Internally, what do we have? The King of Pentacles. This is my trump card. I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to hopefully get this a little clearer and stop rambling so much. So this is what I call my current situation. This would be more future side. So the current situation, we have 2 aces on top of each other. One is a big stick. One is like, pay attention to what we are saying, what we are offering, what the universe is offering. If you don't, this is going to come down on your head. Bam! New growth. And then we get comfort with the Ace of Cups. Balance, it's karmic. Things are spinning. Things are ending. Things are starting new again. We're moving into calmer waters. Then the next 2 cards, Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And I'm going, this is really has big money things in it. So are we going to see the government reopen? Because a lot of people are very worried, especially the federal employees who still have a job. They're going, if we're not getting paid, what the hell? We have bills that we have to pay, and all the government gets paid. The Congress people get paid every time they do these crazy shutdowns. I keep asking, why are they still getting paid? That's just insane. Anyway, so as we move forward, we have the King of Pentacles being faced with a sharp new truth. Ooh, don't sit on that, King. Okay, this sort of truth is piercing the king's crown. So, even though this king didn't wear a crown, you get what I'm saying. So, it feels like this was a really big movement. Hopes and Fears was Judgment. And I'm like, I'm loving this reading. I'm loving it until I got to the Ten of Swords. And I went, are we going to get stabbed in the back again? But I love the phoenix that they put up there. I think it's phoenix. And the clarifying is, did we just get stabbed in the back? Is this a new beginning? Is this the end? Is Phoenix rising? The Sun card. Yes. Phoenix is rising. Full illumination. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Bringing forth some, this like the knight in shining armor. Bringing forth comfort, calm, peace. And I go, wow. Well, who is that? Who is that King of Cups? I'd like to meet him. Anyway, so this looks really powerful, really uplifting, happy. Even though the news media will try to steer us and have us go backwards, don't do that. Keep going forwards. Keep going to a new land. Calm waters. It's interesting, this is moving on to calmer waters, and this is trying to balance on really shaky ground, shaky waters. So we're going to get both of those hitting us, and we have to maintain the steerage. So I wanted to pull 3 cards. What is this? What is this about? What is this Ten of Swords about? So the 3 cards that I pulled, just to clarify that, and I used the same deck, which I rarely do, but I shuffled and it's just a continuation of the story. I got the 3 of Hearts. Betrayal, heartbreak. Well, yeah, if somebody stabbed me in the back 10 times, I'd be going ow too. So we get that card, and then we get the 6 of Wands, moving on as a winner. And in this deck, this is why sometimes it's interesting to look at different decks and how different interpretations of this card. There are people in the background cheering this guy on. In other 6 of Wands, the guy's just there by himself. It's like it's a false celebration. This seems like a really true celebration. I mean, when we look at our democracy, it's heartbreak. We got stabbed in the back, but we're going to come out ahead if we'd only look at the cup. We're not looking at an offer. So either we're focused on these 3 cups, we're focused on these 10 swords stabbed in our back. We're not looking at the Sun coming and the Knight of Cups coming. And I said, okay, what is this that we're not looking at? I keep going. I kept going down the rabbit hole. It's a slow-moving knight. And again, it's the Knight of Pentacles. And so I'm going Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. Is this about the government shutdown? We get our wish. Okay, I'm like, yay, so it's slow-moving, but we do get our wish with the 9 of Cups. However, we have to pick the right cup. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Can't it just be happiness? Well, we did get happiness. Just pick the right cup, dang it. All right, so what's this cup? What is that we need to pick? Give me a little clarity on why we're struggling with what cup to pick, because it seems to me, all is one, love, positivity, that's the right cup. But I guess some of these people are balancing this out. What is it clarifying that Seven of Cups, it's the Nine of Swords. It's the worry. And it's like we're not getting any movement. Things aren't changing. It's this Knight of Pentacles, slow, moving. Are we going to see any sunlight? Is anything going to happen? Dancing in the streets. Yay. Finally. Yeah, dancing in the streets. Okay, so please no negative cards. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pull more. And what do I get? We are the magicians. We get the magician card. So changing something that appeared to be something else, turning it into a surprise. It's like, ooh, how'd you do that? The King of Pentacles, my Mr. Pumpkinhead card, he was always the slippery one in the magician, and it was always a card of, hey, look over there while I do this. Clearly there is something going on here in that magician card as well. So, and that takes me back to the Epstein files. Is that all this stuff that he's doing, it's a diversion for something. His peace plan, I heard, was on very much shaky grounds. I did not want to think that. I did not want to even put that into the vibrational energy, because so many people are losing their lives, and so Israel went back to bomb them because Gaza didn't send some dead body parts back or something. I'm like, with all respect to the dead, let's have respect for the living. They can ask me, and I'll do a mediumship reading on them, and I'll bring back more than a body part for their departed loved ones. I don't know if I'm sure they all believe in some of that. Do they believe in woo-woo? The Mideast? Am I being silly even asking that? PsychicDuck. Yeah, you're being silly. So, okay, I was being silly. Okay, the other thing I wanted to look at, and so I pulled these cards out. And I pulled 3 cards. This is my herbal tarot. Did the Republicans, and not the ones on TV, the Moses Mike Johnson, and he calls himself that, so I'm just repeating what he called himself. I could add Grinder Moses Mike, but I won't. Okay. Are the Republicans that are sitting at home? The other cool thing I saw that was really, really neat, and I don't know if this is true, because I don't know anything about the villages in Florida, except they had pictures of these old people driving golf carts with their Trump, Save America, and all that stuff. And so this one guy goes, I'm driving through the villages. Let's see what's going on down there on the No King's Day. And so it drives down a little bit of this road, and you see 1 or 2 or 3 people with their signs up, and I go, oh, well, at least there's somebody out there. Good for you. Thank you for at least standing up in that MAGA enclave that's got to be so hard. So, I was sending him props in my mind. And then he goes around a traffic circle. Blew my mind. It was a solid block or whatever they have down there, full of No Kings on the side of the road. And then he came around another traffic circle, and as he rounded the traffic circle, they all, there wasn't anybody there. But then as he got back on another road, full of signs, full of people out there saying, this is not what we wanted. So I wanted to ask the question, are the Republicans who weren't paying attention, who said, well, my mom and dad voted Republican, so I vote Republican. You know, and I come from a very Republican household, really Republican. And I see how that comes, because I did, you know, when I was younger, and don't tell anybody about this, but I did vote Republican for a couple of times. And then I saw the light. PsychicDuck smacked me around with its wing. Okay, Republicans, are you starting to see the light? And you can make your own interpretations of this. I got grace. And I think about this and I go, none of these Republicans talking heads have any grace. They're just lashing out. And it's all for Mr. Pumpkinhead. The second card I got was purity. And I went, this is not what the Republican people I talk to, it doesn't feel purity. It doesn't feel like maybe they're being pure MAGA or something. And then I got the magician. And I went, oh, and look, he's got the Wheel of Fortune. He is either driving a ship, and the herb there is ginseng. So I said, so what about the Democrats? You know, you've got people writing very strongly worded letters, and then you have these other people that use their hands in staccato language. And I'm so disappointed in the leadership that it's like, grow a pair, stand up, have some passion with this. And you can have grace and purity with passion. You look at AOC, you look at Bernie, they got it. So are we going to get leadership? And we have it, right? Jasmine Crockett, we have it. That guy from Tennessee, I don't know his name, but I saw him on the news, and he was passionate, he was powerful, he was forceful, and I'm like, yes, that's what we need. Oh, got on my high horse a little bit. All right, so let's take a look at this. Are we going to get leadership that is going to actually start making a difference? And the first card I pull is harmony. And I went, oh, well, okay, that's good. You know, they're bringing balance. It's all harmony, but it's not like, let's go. It's not that. I feel like Yarrow. I feel like sitting in the wing. And this egret, I think, is that an egret? It's got the scales of justice to it. And it is sticking its neck out quite a bit. Okay. So the next card I pulled is purpose. I'm like, okay, maybe they're finding their purpose. I mean, we have our purpose, but it's got to be articulated in such a way. I mean, right now we're talking about opening the government for health care, but what about shining a light on the abuse of power, on all the stuff that's been going on? And then the next card I get is action, nettle. And I guess this could be the stinging nettle, I'm not sure, but we have a snake crawling around in crystals. This is rebirth. This is higher energy source that comes into us. I'm like, very good, very good. It seems to me that these Democrats are going to start finding their purpose and start putting it into action. And the Republicans, they are going to start seeing that this is not really what they want. And the reason I was asking that question is how are the people in the communities viewing this? And the people in the communities are having their eyes open. You can't have 7 million people marching in the streets thinking that that they're all crazy. Well, I guess you could. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it was really cool. Let's do a real quick one on the healthcare. Opening up the government. I did use my pendulum on it last night, and what I got was that it's really close to this week, probably the first of next week. That's what I got. And again, things change. Maybe enough people in the Republican congressional districts are going, hell no. You look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not that I would trust her with a Jewish space laser, but at least she has a voice of MAGA that is starting to come out. So, all right. Healthcare. Not healthcare, but opening up the government for healthcare. What can you tell us? Opening up government for the healthcare. I'm just going to do an energy spread on it. So it's going to be 6. Okay. Not bad. Let's see what we get. All right, so we have justice. We have the Star of Hope. And then we get the Hanged Man. Suspension or looking at things from a different point of view. And they still have some things to balance out, to work out. There is, oops, can I show this? I don't think I can. The Lover's card, so I'll just leave it down there. The Lover's card with the Queen of Swords. Some strong legal action from a woman. Court cards, yeah, from a woman, and you could add more detail to them, but it feels like there's going to be someone that is going to say, no, we need to open this up. And then we have the King of Wands saying, okay, let's do this. Let's bring balance to this. And so I don't know who the king is here. Is it Schumer? Is he the wise king with information that'll come forth? Certainly he has the experience of it. Is it Jeffries? He doesn't have the experience, although he is in that king role. So I do think it's going to be opened up, but I think there is going to be a pause to it again. So, all right. So I want to do one more deck, and I'm going to use the Angels and Ancestors as we leave. This will be short. How do we protect ourselves in this time, in this frequency that we find ourselves in? There's going to be a lot of people that are really scared on both sides because they're losing their for different reasons. I think the Republicans are going to be losing their identity, what they thought that they were standing for and voting for, and I think that they're going to be coming around. least I hope. I hope I'm a magic man. I think they're going to be coming around to that. I'm going to slip them a couple of hopium pills. Anyway, and when they realize, and you can see some things on YouTube and read some books about how you get out of cults, it's challenging because they lose their identity. We may be losing our identity in a way that we thought the Constitution was going to protect us. It was going to protect our nation. And I feel like it's going to be a whole new nation. So, and as I said that, I just get a little drop down, as I said, talked about protections. Somebody just commented on my feed, and it comes through my screen. I don't know how I set that up, but it said, all the protectors at home did a great job. So thank you. And here we are talking about how do we stay protected with all of what we feel when our identities are being stripped. And different people have different identities that are being stripped, and we're just kind of left out there. I feel like we're, on this sea that is, it's like the Two of Pentacles, but we're actually in the boat trying to juggle. How do we manage? How do we manage? And we manage through 3 cards. So this is just to remind us. This is just to remind us. See that? That's my hopium pill. I have it right there on my desk, and it's covering up earth. Peace. Here we go. Wants me to shuffle one more. Okay. Protection. Breathe deep, the gathering gloom. Wait for important information. So I would say don't breathe deep in the gathering gloom, but keep your sage going, keep your protections up. And as we wait for this, tap into your oracle sense of what you know is right, what you know, what you want to have come forward. So often we just drop into the news cycle or listen to somebody on YouTube. What do we want to make happen? Action. Ignite your passion. Yes, yes, yes. So when we are waiting for important information, do something passionate that really makes us feel like we're alive. And I know some of us are going, I'm not well, I'm hurting. Do something. Find something. Whether it's reading a book. Get one of those big print books, like a comic book. Okay. And then we connect with our emotions. The water guardian. And one more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just what I was talking about. Snake, shed old skin. Don't hang on to things that no longer serve you. We're moving towards something that is really big. We're still waiting on the information. But the 2 guardians, what they are telling us is passion and emotion. And this water to me is all about healing waters. What does water mean to you? When who is it, Dr. Emoto? When you say positive things to a glass of water or freeze it and then freeze it or something, the ice crystals have a different consistency. They look beautiful. They're symmetrical. They've got, they look like snowflakes. the crystals, but when you put angry words on them, then they come out all distorted and stuff. So make sure your inner dialogue is positive, passionate. So this passionate means you don't have to drop the F-bomb. Drop the L-bomb, the love bomb, on your spirit. And when we're shedding this skin, be gentle on yourself. Sometimes it comes off all at once. Sometimes it comes off in bits and pieces. And the interesting thing with this snake, some of you know that I was the caretaker, not the owner, it's just caretaking, of a number of snakes. And if they were having a hard time shedding, then I would add more water to their cage. I'd let them swim in a bowl so that they could release their skin easier than if they didn't have the water guardian with them. And if you're getting too passionate, I just saw this, then use the water guardian to tap that down, to get us into that right emotional state. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Psychic Duck, you got any more? No, you said it all. I said it all. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great week. I'll try to be back Wednesday, but if not, I'll try to be back Friday. Okay, peace and love. Peace and love.